Hey guys, I'm sitting here near the beach. I'm looking at the waves. I was a little bit in the ocean and lying in the sun a little bit. And all the time when I do this, I get an inspiration to do a video or a post or something. So today I decided to make another YouTube video and speak a little bit about relationships, and to be more precise, about conditioned love versus soul love, right? Like two things that I constantly see within myself and in with my friends and people I work with and so on, is that when it comes to love, like there are two ways of loving, really. There's the purest way, the soul love that we all feel, and it's just expansive and uplifting, and it just feels good and nurturing and so on. And then there's the conditioned love, right? The expectations, the karmic connections, the trauma wounding and bounding, and I don't know, whatever reasons we and expectations we put upon one another, and if those are matching, then we reach a condition, and because of that we love each other, or at least let's say we love each other, or we want to I don't know, to feel safe in a way that maybe love makes sense in that way for us, right? When two conditions meet, or two expectations and so on. So what I realized is very simple. The soul, the soul always aspires or desires pure love, no matter what, no matter how the situation looks like, no matter how, whatever is there, no matter how much contrast and friction and whatever it is, the soul always, wants to express love, right? Like that's the fundamental of the soul. The conditioning wants always to separate and create conditions and little boxes that fits belief systems and wounds, and create safe container around our wounding, and the way we relate with one another. We want to be, we don't want to suffer, right? So the conditioning love creates this kind of illusion that we are safe, or that we impose some conditions and some expectations upon one another that only in those terms we can let's say love. And I did that myself, and I see many of us do that, like all of us actually do that, right? So every time I do that at some it feels safe for the moment, right? It feels like, oh, now it's certain, and I'm glad I covered this, I'm safe now, or the conditions are met, amazing, let's love each other and so on. But of course the condition is just limited in space and time. So after a condition is met, then another condition come up, and another condition comes up, and another expectation, and another standard or value, maybe. It doesn't have to be bad. When I say conditioning, it can be, some people have values and standards in their relationships that they want to, both partners want to live based on those standards, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's just so that we know and we can discern, is that the soul always wants just pure love, no restrictions, no conditions, no nothing, just pure expression of the divine that exists within us. That's the purest form of love, and this is what the soul wants. However, then the conditioning, how to go with that, right? Well, the conditions have to match, they have to match, and we have to realize that when sometimes they match, for a while, and then we expect different things, or we change, right? We shift constantly. We are beings that grow and expand and evolve, so we always change to one level or another. And we have to always realize that conditions and terms will always be changing, and we have to always check upon one another in relationships, with your partner, with whoever it is. It doesn't have to be just romantic. It can be, your mom, your parents, your co-workers, whatever. We always have to just consider those conditions and check upon one another all the time. Are the conditions still meeting? Do we still want the same thing? Are these conditioning coming from wounding? Are they, is it time to let them go? Or to create new ones which feel more free or more safe, or whatever. They have to serve us. That's the idea, right? Like, no matter how we put it, the conditioning is basically our resistance that just wants to to be safe in one way or another. It wants to not suffer or not experience pain anymore or whatever. And it's impossible to cover that. It's impossible to have that, let's say, figure it out all the time. There will always be some growth and some tension and some contrast, because if it wouldn't be, how can we know what we want to become? How can we better ourselves? How can we grow? How can we evolve? Simply, right? Like, there has to be some contrast or some I guess tension and moments that we can choose differently. This is how the creation in itself is not perfect, right? It leaves room for imperfection, and in that imperfection we grow, right? This is where we grow. We are creating from that. Nothing is perfect, because if it will be perfect and everything will be figured out, then it will be amazing. Nothing that you should do or not do, that will be everything ideal in this world. Then it will be freaking boring, right? We will be bored, and there will be no reason to live. So in the whole universe, in the whole creation, there exists some type of contrast and some type of tension, friction, alchemical processing that creates planets and creates supernovas and galaxies and stars and life and human beings and plants and animals. And that's how it works, guys. And you just in your relationship with those people you are in life, you just have to make sure that your conditions meet. First of all, you have to have the soul connection and the soul love, right? The purest form of love. If that is there, know that sometimes that is not enough, and you have to just check up on each other's conditions and expectations and see if that's matching. See if what type of love do you want to experience, or what type of conditions you create. Do you create many conditions, or do you create less conditions, and you allow more soul and freedom and flow to be in your relationship? But some conditions will always be there to one degree or another, right? That's how it works, right? Like, it's like, look in nature. You cannot you cannot procreate with a cat and a bear, for example. There has to be some conditions met. Both have to be the same species, and so on. So same with humans. It's one aspect, we are all human, and we can procreate with one another and make kids with one another and so on. But there are other conditions that also have to be met. Lifestyles, values, morals, ethics, expectations, and it's simple as that. So I want to share this with you because many people, I feel like, they are in separation and constant charge and friction because they just don't realize that. And beyond that, they have this genuine love for one another. Often we really have this genuine love for one another, yet there are some conditions that don't meet. So we don't have to hold grudge against one another. We just realize it. We accept it, and we discuss and we communicate, and we see if there is something that has to be done or not, and if it aligns, and if the condition meet for the future, or and for the present moment especially. And we go from there. So I really felt to share this with you. I find it important for myself in my life right now to constantly be aware of this and shape my relationship based on this. And I hope it helps. Let me know what you think, and have an amazing day. Much love.